Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of Way of the Brush with me, your host Chris, aka Mini Wargamer Chris, aka the Name Butcher, aka Hey You, Get Off My Lawn. Way of the Brush, the most informative 120 minutes on the internet on the wargaming lifestyle. We'll talk about painting, terrain, conversions, and everything under the sun. Usually we delve into a lot of painting talk, as well as a lot of what's under the sun, meaning no topics are barred. We'll talk about anything and everything. Anything, like literally anything. We'll talk about it, like. And of course, if you're a first-time viewer, you can always ask your questions over in the chat if you're watching live. And of course, you can also ask your questions to Kris@miniwargaming.com. It's in the description below. You can feel free to ask whatever questions come to mind. You know, this show is all about you guys and helping you guys with your painting and answering your questions, whatever they may be. And so this is the show about that. And of course, you can also join me on waythebrush.com, central hub of all this silliness. It has links to all the social medias, as well as links to the live show, and of course, links for t-shirts. Right? You want to look like a connoisseur of all that is good and holy in this universe, they're wearing a Way of the Brush t-shirt. And of course, everybody who's purchased a Way of the Brush t-shirt, send a picture of yourself in your shirt, and I will add it to the Monkey Shrine, which is also on the website. And you know, because who doesn't like looking at themselves on the internet, right? Who doesn't? And of course, wayofthebrush.com also has links for the patron. Big thank you for all my patrons. Without their support, a lot of these upgrades and upkeeps just probably wouldn't get done. I just, resources and such. And so, but because of your generous contributions, a lot of these things get done. And so, big thank you to them. And of course, if you're considering patron support, big thank you. I do other shows aside from Way of the Brush as well. I don't charge for them. I only ever charge per Way of the Brush. And so there's only ever usually about 4 episodes a month. So I think you can figure out how much, you want to contribute, right? So there is always that. And of course, a big thank you for my patrons who currently support me. Again, it's all about you guys. And, my way of giving back is often I will do other segments. I'll do other live casts either on YouTube or Twitch. And of course, also with the patron paint along is another one. Basically, we gather every other weekend and we paint together. And and we're currently working through a project right now. And so, if you're curious, join us in the patron paint along. Also, big thank you to Guymere Alfer, aka Carl, aka Beer and Blood Bowl. That's his YouTube channel. Check him out if you like yourself some beer and you like yourself some Blood Bowl. We always say thank you to Guymere as, he was kind and generous enough to donate his time and talent to creating the email jingles that we all know and love before every email segment of the show. And so, big thank you to him for that, for taking the time to be generous and, show his support. And of course, I don't always have to, but I feel compelled to support him in his endeavors. And listening to him, I often will watch some of the games, but I'm listening to just the crazy expressions these guys use all the time on each other, and it's just funny. And it gets funnier as you get longer into the day because they're drinking beer. So again, this show is always about you guys. It's always about helping you guys. And again, if you're attending live, you can ask your comments, ask your questions in the comment section. And of course, if I don't answer your question, some of the monkeys will answer your question, as they are very knowledgeable folk, and a lot of them are longtime listeners, and so we'll know some of the usual answers that I often get asked. Feel free to ask them. I've been asked, many of the same questions 100 times over, and I'm happy to answer them, and I'll answer them 100 more times. So I'm fine with it. It's not like, I don't know about the color yellow, and, feel free to ask. Feel free. I know everybody's at varying levels in this hobby, so feel free to ask. Geo Fits. Happy Saturday, Kris. Happy Saturday, Geo. Ghost of Starman Deluxe. Present for roll call. Steve McDemon. Good evening, Brushlings. I kind of like that. Brushlings. That's a fun one. Brushlings. He killed Brushlings. Demon Wraith 808. Hey, y'all. Sir Peanut Butter. Morning, peeps. Eldari Lamborghini. Good day, monkeys. Dark Commission. Hi, Kris and monkeys. Happy Saturday. Ishyab, good day, y'all. Happy Saturday morning. Kris and local monkeys, glad to be around. Well, we're glad to have you around, Sammy. We're always happy to have Sammy around. Sammy always seems like a beacon of positivity. Every time I talk to Sammy, he's always, yeah, hi, how's it going? At least that's what I infer from from his messages. Anyway, I don't know if have we spoken word like. Yeah, we have spoken a couple times on Discord. Oh, I just jammed myself in the face with my thumb. Oh, man. Anyway. Lord Krabby, sup, Matter Frackers. Sir Peanut Butter. Well, that's the show. Fire Drake 18, good morning. Best show yet. This is the best show yet. We haven't even... Don't applaud at the beginning of the show. Applaud at the end of the show, because you don't know how this will go. This could be a complete gong show for all we know. Anthony B, I made it. Just finished watching Your Veer and Tor. Yeah, I can't. I wear, a lot of times in the office, I wear headphones. Because lately, Matt has been singing that infernal song. And as soon as I hear it, the earworm is buried deep into my brain, and then all of a sudden I keep hearing that song playing over and over and in my head, and I feel like banging my head against the desk, or grabbing my pin vise and grabbing a little drill bit and drilling it into my forehead or something. You know what I mean? Like I've got to get the sound out of my head, because it's infectious. It's infectious is what it is. And that freaking song is just and you guys can listen to it whenever you like. But when he was developing it and making it and creating it, and just constantly it was just constant in the background. So I had headphones on and I had my music or whatever going, and yeah, I can't hear it, because otherwise I'll snap and go postal or something. Ishyab, okay, anything talk. I highly recommend catching YouTube video on behind the scenes look at making of Monty Python's Meaning of Life. Very interesting, kiddies. Meaning of Life. Yeah, that's a good one. I like that. That one has like a few really good skits, really memorable. Some of them, are kind of drag on. Like the dinner party one. Like the dinner party one. Yeah, that one could have been shorter. But anyway. But yeah, Monty Python. Yeah, classic. I mean, in my personal collection, I have Holy Grail, of course. Life of Brian. Of course. Life of Brian's probably, like, I love Holy Grail, but I can watch Life of Brian many, many, many times. Whereas Holy Grail, it's more nostalgia and, silliness, and just, you end up repeating a lot of things from Holy Grail. Whereas Life of Brian, I can just shut up and watch it and enjoy it and laugh at the moments, and, not to say that I don't enjoy Holy Grail. I mean, like, Holy Grail is great. But for me, Life of Brian is a much better Monty Python story than Holy Grail. Holy Grail's got a lot of great moments in it, don't get me wrong. Life of Brian's got a lot of great moments in it. Or Meaning of Life, But for me, Life of Brian is a much better film. It's a much better film, that's what I'm saying. It's a much better film. I mean, Holy Grail, it's, you know what I mean? Like, it has almost a homemade quality to it, whereas Life of Brian feels like, you know, proper costuming and set design, and, you know what I mean? Like, they had a bit more of a budget to go towards the film, right? And so, yeah. For me, Life of Brian is also, too, it's Life of Brian, because of the parallels it makes and the messages that it has, you know, the metaphors within the film, you know, it has more meaning than Holy Grail. Holy Grail is there are some metaphors you can draw from Holy Grail, but otherwise it's silliness and it's laughter, you know what I mean? It's comedy for the sake of comedy, whereas Life of Brian is saying something a little bit deeper, you know. So anyway, or maybe I'm reading too much into it, one of the two. Johnny Chop Shop, breathe, let go, smile, and remember that this moment, right now, is the only one you have for sure. Enjoy it. Dr. Xantos, hello, monkeys and monkey lord. Hello, Dr. Xantos. Congo! Kris likes Imperial brand meats. They got Ferris head premium cuts. Buffalo Dorn wings. Yeah, that'd actually be pretty cool, I think. A 40K themed eatery. Definitely would be cool. George Hintz, keep getting Error 2000 on Twitch. Error 2000 on Twitch. Yeah. What's going on there? Let me see here. Twitch is saying everything's fine there. It says I'm live on Twitch. That's really, really weird. Because, yeah, YouTube I'm showing up just fine, it looks like. Yeah, I'm getting the Error 2000 as well. I'm not sure why that is. The time machine got unplugged. Try again in a moment. Yeah, that's really weird. Because the thing is, a Restream, which is what I use to stream to both services, it says it's online. I'm not showing any errors on it. Let me refresh that. It's too bad it couldn't show me. I couldn't flip between the two. Yeah. Very, very bizarre. I don't know. There's not much I can do about it right now other than stop the stream and try some other crap, but I'm not about to do that. Yeah. I don't know. I'll have to examine it later. Kind of weird. Well, what did I do here? Monkeying around with stuff now, and now everything's going bonkers. Alrighty, where was I? Kevin Cabal, good morning all. Dr. Xantos. Kris, I don't know about the octarine. How do I highlight it? An octarine? An octarine? I'm not familiar with the octarine. What's octarine? Octarine. Hansel? 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 Discworld. I see a bunch of things for Discworld. What am I looking at? What am I looking at here? An octarine. I see many things come up for octarine. I don't know what the hell you mean by that. I'm how do you highlight it? I don't know. When I search octarine, a bunch of things come up. As far as an image search is concerned, none of them seem related. Some of them seem to refer to Discworld. So I don't know what kind of drugs you're smoking. So I don't know. I don't know what the octarine is. Steve McDemon, what's this yellow you speak of? G Squared, hey Kris, hey monkeys. Haven't missed too much, have I? No. Still just jibber jabbering back and forth here. GeoFits, you're not the only one. The theme song's very catchy. Yeah, I know, it is catchy. It is catchy. You cannot deny that it's not catchy. And, you know, it's just, it constantly just keeps playing it. Like, I can hear it in the back of my brain right now, but I'm not going to start singing. I'm not going to commit it to more brain space. I'm just going to push it back there further. Might even form into a tumor. I don't know, but we'll give it a shot. Dark Commission, going postal. In Canada, does that mean lying down for a nap? No, going postal in Canada, it means, you know, people flipping out. Even in Canada. It doesn't happen too often, as far as I know. But yeah. Whereas in the States, yeah, in the States it seems like, you know, going postal is a very widely accepted term for, you know, it's not very nice, of course, but, you know, what are you going to do? GeoFits, can you go postal if Canada Post is on strike? Sure, why not? Ben Ellis, late again, balls. Late again, balls. Late again, balls? Hello, all. Hello. Jim White, dear Kris, you have said in the past that your mother was a sculptor. Oh, she was an artist, not a sculptor. Has she ever called you a chip off the old block? Ha 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 ha. No, she could draw. My mother could draw, and I don't know if she's just being coy with me. Whenever we get on the subject of, you know, where artistic talent came from, because for a long time I wouldn't have imagined my father, because my father was a mathematician and computer programmer, you know. And my mother was a much more free-spirited, I suppose, and you know, loved music, and, you know, she drew. She could draw like really, really well. I mean, I can remember being really, really young, and she had done this piece for me. It was a Star Wars thing, and she had, you know, she had the Death Star, and she had Ewoks, and, you know, and it was really, really awesome. She drew it all in like, you know, if anybody remembers back in the day, the fine-tipped colored markers. She drew it in that, and, you know, I had it for quite a while, and then I don't know what happened to it. Disappeared. Lost to the ages, unfortunately. But yeah, I remember that being one of the earliest things that inspired me, and I remember imitating what she had drawn. I would take my pieces of paper and my markers, and I would try and do what she did, you know, and I would draw and draw and draw, and, you know, do other Star Wars things, and, you know, stuff like that, and yeah. So, yeah. As far as me being an artist, I would say I was more inspired early on by my mother. But then afterwards, as I got older, realizing that my father was also an artist as well. And so, luckily, you know, both parents being artists, you know. Ben Ellis, episode 231. He's not the Messiah. He's a very naughty boy. Yeah. Yeah. Andrew McCall, hey Forrest, I got your skull. Sweet. Sweet. Drewski has been doing a lot of the 3D modeling for the bunker and such, and so he's the man with the plan. With a lot of the 3D printing that we've needed done at Mini Wargaming, and so, yeah. I just asked for a small thing. Of course, Drew is going to be really awesome, and he's going to print me up something really awesome. Maybe. I don't know. Dark Vision, beware the holy hand grenade of Antioch. I just like when he's reading off the instructions of how you're supposed to use it and such. It's like the sacred scroll. Because it's immediately something I think a lot of 40k players can relate to, because that's how you imagine, you know what I mean? Like the Space Marines, and they're, you know, they're anointing their weapons, and, you know, it's like, you know, it's a joke, of course, right? But I mean, you know, it has a lot of resonance with 40k players, you know, because that's, in 40k, that's basically how the Space Marines would treat their weaponry, right? It's like holy relics. It's just funny. Lord Krabby, you know what movie still holds up? Shaun of the Dead. Need to go to Winchester so bad right now. Yeah, Shaun of the Dead, yeah, it's really excellent. Shaun of the Dead is still mostly relevant. Like, it's still in today. Because, I mean, like, in Shaun of the Dead, in the very beginning, you know, he makes, in the film, they make the commentary of, we're already amidst the zombie apocalypse because everybody's on their phones and blah, 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 you know what I mean? Like, everybody's a zombie walking around because everybody's on their phones. That's the joke in the beginning of the movie, right? Then the rest of the movie's hilarious, but in the very first few moments, they're making that social commentary that we're already amidst the zombie apocalypse. We're all waiting for the zombie apocalypse, and yet we didn't realize we're already amidst it. And we're already all zombies. The zombies won, right? So, yeah. Anthony B., Grandfather Nurgle's soup is split pea soup. I love split pea soup. Split pea soup. Oh, what a great, eh? 2 bowls of split pea soup, eh? Lord Krabby, been dry for months. LOL. You been dry for months? Oh. Yeah, I've been dry too, mostly. Just a little wet the whistle, but otherwise, yeah, I've been dry. Greenleaf Terrain, take your shirt off. Woo! No, you don't want to see that show. Come on. You don't want to see that show, for God's sakes. Talking crazy, man. You're talking crazy. Adam, you're talking crazy. Dr. Santos, I was just making a stupid joke about the color of magic. Octarine from Discworld when you commented about colors. Oh, okay. Octarine. Jim White, keep it on, Kris. Keep it on. The shirt? Yeah, of course. The shirt's staying on, yeah. I'm not going to sit here and, do a show topless because, again, nobody wants to see that show. And any of you sickos out there who want to see me without my shirt, well, we'll go to another channel. No. Hey, we'll talk price later on. No, we're not going to talk price. I'm just joking. Don't do it. For God's sakes, don't do it. Jabba's left nut had Kris. What's in the Creature Caster box? What's in the Creature Caster box? A Creature Caster model. There we go. That should tell you right there. Can you read it? Good. That's what's in the Creature Caster box. That is what I'm going to be painting up for Adepticon. And because Creature Caster is doing their own painting competition this year, separate from everything else. It's just them doing it. So I figured, why not paint something up, I like Creature Caster, I like their models. They're phenomenal sculpts, and every time they release something, I'm constantly wowed by what they're doing. And and last Adepticon I really got to sit down and talk with them a bit, and they filled me in on some future ideas and projects that were coming out from them, and I was very excited as far as like what they're going to be doing. And so, yeah. Fire Drake 18. I really enjoy Simon Pegg movies. Shaun of the Dead is a classic. World's End was trippy. And let's not forget Hot Fuzz and Run Fat Boy Run. I don't know if I've watched Run Fat Boy Run. I don't know if I watched that one. I've watched the other ones. World's End I thought was good. But it wasn't like Shaun of the Dead. Shaun of the Dead is just, it's really unfortunate too. I mean, Hot Fuzz was good as well, but again, I don't know. But yeah, I mean, Simon Pegg and Buddy there, I can't remember his name. They're really fun duo to watch, and so yeah. Ben Ellis, Twitch error 2000 equals Flash won't work on Chrome. The workaround is go to setting, privacy, content setting plugins, individual plugins, enable Shockwave Flash that is built into Chrome PEP file. Then refresh. This will resolve Twitch error 2000. Really? I don't know if I'm going to do it now because, I mean, as long as I'm transmitting and Twitch is receiving it, then if anybody's getting the error, then, you know, great. But it's on the Twitch side of things, really? Is that what you're saying? Is that what you're saying? Is that what you're saying? Right? Flash won't work on Chrome. Well, I see. I'm using Safari. But maybe my Flash is out of date on Safari. Maybe that's what it is. If it's a Flash thing. They should just get rid of Shockwave Flash altogether. Just get rid of it. You know. It's no longer needed. It was a huge thing back in the day, but it's really not really needed these days. It's antiquated, really. The workaround is go to the setting, privacy, or maybe it's a setting on the window. Either way, if it seems to be working for you and that refresh, then great. Because then people on Twitch can actually watch it. If not, I don't know. I'll have to see what I can do later to resolve this. Because, yeah, that's annoying. Eldari Lamborghini Hot Fuzz. I just watched it for the first time a month ago. I had been missing out on so much. Jim White, thanks for the correction and great story. Okay. John J. at Kris. Doing any painting lately? What's the creature caster in the background? I believe I just mentioned that. Kubla Khan. Howdy ho, every bubble. Damn, did I manage to make it sometime near the beginning of an episode? You did. We're only half hour into the show. Dr. Santos. Kris. There are holy hand grenades in Kings of War Vanguard rulebook. That's funny. Emperor's Champion. Anybody feel that like a Primaris Cantor would have made loads more sense during the Orcs release along with New Fist Battle Force? Yes, definitely. Anything Crimson Fists. I mean, you know, release more crap, you know. But I mean, like with the Imperial Fists box set, you can just as easily use all that to do up Crimson Fists. You know, it's the same icon, just different colors, you know, just a different paint scheme, right? So, you know, there's nothing there. But yeah, a new Pedro Cantor even in Gravis armor, I think would be cool if they did a Pedro Cantor in Gravis armor. But then again, I guess he might look like Marnius Calgar, I guess. Still, I don't care. I just like Pedro. Well, the older sculpted Pedro, because he's got like 4 skulls across his knuckles on his power gloves. I like that, you know. Or 1 glove. I was thinking of Marnius Calgar again. But yeah, definitely Pedro Cantor. Or give us Pedro Cantor in Primaris form, and then maybe a new Crimson Fist dude. Give us another character for Crimson Fists. Why not? What would Crimson Fist benefit from as far as like lore is concerned, right? Who would be a character for Crimson Fists? You know who I think would be a character for Crimson Fists? Just off the top of my head, just now. I think like a medic. Crimson Fists should have a character medic. Because you would imagine, because they're so decimated in their numbers, right? And that they're striving to like hang on to whatever Marines they have, their medics would be top notch. Right? You would imagine, right? That they would have battle-hardened, grizzled medics, right? Because they would be efficient and fast, and you know what I mean? Like they would know how to treat wounds, and you know what I mean? Like because they're trying to preserve every Marine they can, that the medics would be really good. That's off the top of my head. But otherwise, it seems like all the lore is always about, you know, Crimson Fist shooting. I think the tenacity of Crimson Fist really should be what is what, you know, Crimson Fist should be about, is the tenacity of fighting against the odds. You know what I mean? Like that kind of thing. Anyway, Enforcer 357. Hey monkeys, hope I'm not late. Nope, you're not late. you're early for next week's show. Ishyab, whew, back. My computer crapped out just before, and of course when Kris was lauding me as a nice guy, he doesn't know me. Too bad. But Kris is awesome. Glad I'm back, I think. Anthony B. Boo. Shotgun beers. Ben Ellis. Error 2000. That was what Google and YouTube said. Okay. I don't know. I have no idea. I'll look at it after. If Twitch is... Because, I mean, like, right now, like I said, like, Twitch is saying I'm transmitting to Twitch. I honestly don't know if it's working or not. I'm getting the error. I can see it on my end. Because it says, the Twitch machine got unplugged. Try again in a moment. Error code 2000. Whatever that's about. I have no idea. Razia, hello everybody. Just got back from getting my copy of Chapter Approved. It's pretty great. Yeah, I was kind of happy to see, like, you know, some of the changes for Eldar. I mean, whenever I look at Chapter Approved, I'm only concerned with new missions and how the points are affecting Eldar. That's it, and that's all I look for. And I was glad to see that nothing affected my army, really, other than Wraith Knights went down, Wraith Lords went down. What else? I think Farseers went up. They might have went up, I think. Farseers went up, but not the Skyrider Farseers. Everything Skyrider stayed the same, so I'm fine. Lord Krabby, Kris, still playing video games? Yes. What about Red Dead Redemption 2? Well, my kids play that. I have not played it myself. Recently just got Battlefield 5. I love me some Battlefield. And, yeah, I haven't played it myself, though. I've been watching a lot of my son play it and such, but I haven't really played a lot of video games lately. Another one I was playing a lot of, because I play a lot on Xbox, right? And computer a little bit, too. Because I was playing a lot of Fortnite as well, but I haven't really played Fortnite in probably 3 weeks, something like that. So, but Red Dead Redemption, I watched a lot of it as my kids were playing it a lot, and I watched both of them. Both my daughter and my son were, you know, playing the single player adventure, and you know, I watched both of them, and of course, both of them kind of did things differently. Like my daughter played it pretty straight, you know, whereas my son played it a little bit borderline evil. So it was interesting. William Eversberg. Kris, greetings once again from the past. About 30-minute delay this week. Well, it's about a 30-minute delay from when I'm reading your thing, because I mean, like, I would start from the beginning, even though I was into my usual spiel, and then, you know, I get through. But I mean, I'm caught up. Yeah, so I'm caught up. Raziel, I think Crimson Fists could have a badass named Ancient. Yeah, an Ancient. Yeah. You know, big chapter banner, you know what I mean, showing the heraldry of the Crimson Fists, and you know what I mean, like, yeah. Even like, you know how, okay, like, you know how for 30k Alexis Pollock, he is holding the big shield, and he is, you know, the progenitor of the Crimson Fists once they become Crimson Fists, right? Like, why doesn't Crimson Fists have a unit with those big friggin' shields? Right? Like, why don't they have somebody who emulates the first chapter master, right? How come there's no Crimson Fist shield unit with, you know, machine guns or close combat weapons or something like that? And then, of course, we could also make Primaris out of them, and, you know what I mean, and give us the big, you know, Primaris storm shield with a big fist on it, and, you know what I mean? Like, how come we can't have that? Why can't we have that? Why isn't that a thing? You know what I mean? Like, why? Why? Jabba's left nut. That's a bit racist. All Space Marines look the same, Kris. Look all the same to Kris. Do they? Enforcer 357. Twitch machine broke. Maybe it's Twitch. Maybe Twitch is broke. I don't know. I can't say. Jim White, episode 231. You are not late. You are early for next week's show. Yeah, I'm going with that, Jim. For now. Unless, of course, just like, you know, in Starship Troopers, something better comes along. You either until you die or someone better comes along. All right, lately, I don't know why, but when I switch the title for the show in YouTube, it doesn't properly change. And I don't know why that is. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. Yeah, so hopefully, hopefully Twitch is receiving this. Because if it's not, that's going to be kind of annoying. But either way. Maybe Twitch is just having a problem. I could not tell you. Raziel, new missions and play structure are good changes, and I think there's even new terrain rules. I think the rules are changed up a bit, I think. I haven't, gone through the book 100%, but yeah. I only, like I said, initially when these books come out, I usually only ever check, what concerns me first. And then, I go in and delve deeper into it, right? So, yeah. Dark Commission episode 231, In the Court of the Crimson Fist King. Yeah. I'm spitting out ideas for Crimson Fist just because, I have a certain idea on what Crimson Fists kind of would be like, I suppose. But, it's not based in lore and stuff like that. I haven't read a whole bunch of, Space Marine stories and stuff like that, So, I can't say. I possibly could have it completely wrong about Crimson Fists, right? So, who can say? Who can say? Enforcer 357, Primaris Cantor and his apothecary friend Juan. Yeah, why not, right? Yeah, because it seems like Crimson Fist all have kind of Spanish sounding names. At least that's the way it sounds to me. I don't know. Again, I could have it completely wrong. Lord Krabby, Pappy watching his kids kill virtual settlers. How nice. Aesthetically, Red Dead is amazing. Oh, watching Red Dead, that's why I could probably watch it. Because it was so nice. And one of my favorite things in it, that just, it's just so nice. Because, I've personally have been out in places where the scenery was similar. And what I loved was when the thunderstorms come rolling in. And it just looks so great. And you get the rain, and you get the weather, and of course in the beginning of the game with all the snow, and I love the physics of the snow and everything like that, like how wading through damn near hip deep snow, done that many times. So yeah, it's it's just one of those things, man. It's just I can watch it. The graphics are just so nice, and the gameplay is solid. Yes, there are a few buggy things that occur within the game, or things that might not make complete sense, but it's a game. It's not real life. It's a game. And, they're telling a story in this game. So, it's for fun. This is created by the same people who made GTA, which was a great story game, but in the, PvP aspect of it, it's completely bonkers. And, and of course Red Dead now has the PvP aspect to it. And it's kind of hilarious. Now, I haven't watched too much of the online stuff. My daughter really enjoys it. In fact, I think she's playing right now. So, yeah. But yeah, Red Dead, I think it's really good. From what I've watched of it, I can't say I've taken in the story from beginning to end, but I was there for a lot of moments. And of course, the kids filled me in on moments that I missed. And, so, yeah. Emperor's Champion. The bit of lore that girly men thanking Cantor and donating the chapter upgrades just made me really want to see Pedro in Primaris. Cortez would be a cool character to bring back into the lore. Yeah, I think bring back all the Crimson Fist characters. Even give us Pedro Cantor as a Crimson Fist, in proper whatever chapter master garb he would wear, even something like that, or even who succeeds Alexis, whoever, right? So Raziel, I also found out badass Gundam model kit for only $11. It's a Leo from Gundam Wing, and I'm a sucker for line troop mobile suits. Cool. There's one I go to. Well, I don't go to, but I've been eyeballing, and I'm probably gonna pick up a kit once it's back in stock. It's Canadian. It's a Canadian Gundam retailer, online retailer. And yeah, the prices are fair. So yeah, but it's one of the RX-78 kits. It's the normal looking Gundam. It's the default looking Gundam, right? And it's like a mega kit. So it looks like it's about like yay high, like from the table. Like it's pretty big. So yeah. Where am I? Anthony B. What are your thoughts on the new Slaanesh models? The harp one is awesome. Yeah, it's very cool. I like the Slaanesh side of things these days. Of course, thankfully we're getting fresh, updated, revised, Slaanesh sculpts. Because a lot of talk, especially when Age of Sigmar came out, that Slaanesh was gonna disappear kind of thing. And I'm glad that they're just updating Slaanesh. And oftentimes, with Slaanesh, it's always about the kits, like the models. Like Slaanesh is always, it's about excess, right? It's not always about sex and sexual desires and things like that. It's excess, right? That's different from sex. And I like really, I think what Slaanesh would be like if you're bringing a visual style to them is, I definitely think they should borrow, and it looks like they kind of are borrowing from Hellraiser, the Cenobites, and that's kind of more of what I would imagine Slaanesh demons and followers, and you know what I mean, they have that kind of vibe to them, that really excessive to pleasure, to excess, to whatever amounts of success you could think of. But also they would I think we would have more of an elfish feeling to them, right? Have very slender forms or curved edges, and you know what I mean, things of that nature, like just that kind of vibe. But yeah, definitely Cenobites. I think that's really, and that harp looking model, that definitely reminds me of Hellraiser. If you're not familiar with Hellraiser and Cenobites, look it up or read the books. Anyway, Kubla Khan. Hey Kris, what do you think of transgender people in wargaming? I don't think anything of it. I mean, if they want to play wargaming, they can play. I mean, doesn't affect me any. You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of an odd question. I think Kubla Khan, really, I think my question would be, what do you think about it? I don't think anything of it. They want to play, I mean, I mean, I guess it goes back to like an old question of like, what do you think of gays in the military? I don't think of it. They want to be in the military, be in the military. I really don't see what the big deal is. People are people. I mean, what is going on with another person's life has nothing to do with me. And if it has no effect on me, then I don't care. They can live their lives in peace, free of any judgment or opinion from me. I don't care, right? It's not that I don't care, but it doesn't affect me. So why would I, I don't have an opinion on it because, and I mean, like, I've met people who are wargamers. And I mean, like, it didn't, they're just people. They're just people who enjoy this hobby. And, I don't see a problem with it. If there is a problem, if people see a problem, that's on them, and oftentimes these bias, these prejudice, that comes from fear, right? Racism, prejudice, bigotry, that all is rooted in fear. And I've seen people who are very, have very opinionated, racist, and they are very fearful souls. They're fearful. I can see it in them all the time. They're just fearful. They just stink of fear. And fear has a very repugnant smell to it. So, yeah. But otherwise, I don't care. You know what I mean? Like somebody across from me is transgender and they want to play a game of 40K. Let's go. We'll play. Doesn't bother me any. I honestly, I'm flabbergasted kind of by the question. You know what I mean? Like it's like, you know, what do you think if there was a black person across the table from you? I don't care. Let's play. It's just, oh, yeah. And you know, like going back a second, you know, and somebody who has these kind of prejudices against color, sex, you know, religious beliefs, whatever, that's all stems in fear. Fear smells repugnant on people, and you can smell it. And people who have enough sense to not fear immediately a lot of things, and instead will explore it and be excited by it, you know what I mean? The differences. And people who are of a certain way where, you know, like they're fearful of these things, they're prejudiced against these things, they are just cowardly souls, and I do not abide by cowards. I don't abide by them. Basically because oftentimes they're, I don't know, not as evolved as a human. A human should be very evolved, you know. Fear, and animals fear things. Like a deer in the woods is very fearful. It's constantly looking out for danger. As soon as it detects something, it goes and it bolts and it heads off in the other direction, right? Fight or flight. It's very strong in these animals. And so somebody who has a lot of fear inside them, yeah, I often, they are, they're closer to a monkey, I think, internally, mentally, than they are a true human being. A human being is evolving, accepting, compassionate, empathetic. Anyway, enough of that rant. Aaron Seach, howdy Kris and monkeys, a knit late this morning. Raziel, Red Dead Online is still only in beta, so there's a lot of content still to come. Yeah, I realize that. I mean, like, even when a game's released, it's still kind of beta, right? I mean, like it's good enough to release, but you know what I mean? Even after they release a game, even, you know, and they're selling it, you know what I mean? Like, it's still sort of beta, you know what I mean? And so that's why the version numbers are always going up, right? As they update and change things and fix this, you know, like, yeah. I mean, like Fortnite. Is Fortnite still considered a beta? I think it is, isn't it? Fortnite's still considered a beta, even though it's been around for, you know, over a year now and has undergone many changes. But yeah. Anyway. Eldari Lamborghini. I've had some funny bugs online with RDR2 so far. Oh, Red Dead Redemption 2. Yeah, there's some funny bugs. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Horses falling from the sky. Oof. No, I haven't seen that one. I've seen that bug occur in videos, but I have not seen it during the game while playing. Or while watching my kids play, not while I'm playing. I'm not playing. Anthony B. Snow. What is this snow you talk about? Snow? If you don't know what snow is, probably consider yourself lucky. I love snow. I love the winter. I like snow. I love when there's a fresh layer of snow on the ground. The air is bitter cold and dry. I don't like when it's humid out, because then you get like lots of this wet, heavy snow. It sucks. It makes everything colder than it really is. I like when it's crisp and dry and the ground crunches under your feet. It sounds like you're walking on styrofoam. But what I really, really love about winter is the air always smells so clean and fresh. What I really love about winter is there's no bugs. What I really love about winter is that microbes in the air are not freely floating around as much as they would be in summertime. And everybody's constantly, you know, passing germs along to each other. And, you know what I mean? Like, winter, it's much more bitter and colder. And, you know, I feel safer in the winter. Mainly the bug thing. The bug thing And, you know, I just wish it wasn't as humid. Like up north, it can get pretty damn cold. Down here in the southern Ontario, it's, you know, there's a lot more humidity, especially where we are in the Welland area, because we're between two Great Lakes, and you get lots of lake effect in this area. George Hints, your sound keeps cutting out for 5 seconds. Well, I don't know. You're the first person telling me these problems today, George. So I'm thinking that maybe it's on your end. I don't know. Is anybody else having this problem of my sound cutting out? I have no idea. You know what? Last time though, I was listening to, I was just doing like a little audio check to see like what kind of quality I'm getting. And last episode, I noticed there was a bit of a static sound, especially if I got really loud and close to the mic. And so I'm wondering if my audio was peaking during that. I turned the gain down on my mic. I don't know if that changed anything. Does anybody pick up static sounds? You know, what have you. But anyway. Kubla Khan at George, I think it's your problem. It's fine for me. Yes, yeah. I think George, I think you're the one having the problems today, George. I mean, not about the Twitch thing. The Twitch thing, that's totally, I'm seeing that too. Demon Wraith 808. Yes, Hellraiser is awesome. Yes, Hellraiser. Yeah, I love me some Hellraiser. I kind of wish Hellraiser would get a bit of a reboot, but reboot. Anyway, but I know they'd probably mess it up, and it wouldn't stay true to the source material, or somebody would do something. I don't know. I know if they booted it, they'd probably just do something dumb with it, and it wouldn't be as impactful as the original stuff, you know. Eldari Lamborghini. I haven't noticed any sound quality problems yet. It may be your internet. Yeah, possibly. The internet could be goofy today. I don't know. George Hints. Okay, I'll check it out. Emperor's Champion. A person is a person. End of. Yeah. Person's a person. I mean, if what somebody's doing has nothing to do with you, how they live their life, what they're doing, and if it doesn't affect you and it doesn't hurt other people, then what do you care what they're doing? Why do you care? You know what I mean? Like, I guess care is the wrong way to look at it, but, I mean, sure, I mean, until I can work out a better way of expressing that, because, I mean, I don't care kind of has a negative sound to it. Like, I don't care, you know? It sounds like, you know, it just completely dispassionate. And it's not that I'm dispassionate towards what's happening to people, but, you know what I mean? It's like, people are just free to live their lives, you know, and just do whatever makes you happy. I mean, the world it would be a much better place if people didn't get into other people's shit about things and just let people be happy and let them pursue their happiness. When somebody becomes a danger to others, commits crimes and things like that, yes, then deal with them accordingly. But don't lump those people all into one kind of category or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, deal with each person individually, deal with each crime that they're dealing with individually, and their punishments should be according to that as well. Of course, there are many broad kind of categories that, you know, things fit into. I mean, like, murder is different than stealing, you know. But what I'm saying, though, is, you know, I mean, the way somebody's born, really, I mean, that's really kind of one way to look at it, right? I mean, like, for, you know, like dealing with, like, say, transgender or whatever, the way somebody's born is not a crime. You can't be born and that be a crime, right? Am I interpreting that correctly? How can the way somebody is born, how can that be a crime? How can you have a bias against the way somebody was born? Unless, of course, your soul is just full of hate and ignorance and fear, right? I just don't I don't understand. But I think if I understood it, then I would probably be of a similar mindset. I think that's what it is. If I understood it, I would be of a similar mindset, and then so I pretty much would be, you know, just like that. So, you know, but I don't consider myself in that regards, and I don't consider myself a very fearful soul. There are some things I don't like mice. Thinking of a mouse running across my floor would freak me out, and I'd probably jump up on the chair. Maybe. I don't know. I might let out a little, but yeah, mice. I don't like mice. Mainly because they're dirty and disgusting and they get into everything and they transmit diseases and just, and then like no, there's, no, I don't like it. That's probably my one foible. If I have any. It's not an irrational dislike of mice. It's not irrational. At least I don't think so. Because, a lot of things are transmitted from mice. From vermin. Yeah. And in North America, they're imported. The regular house mouse is imported. It's not native to this continent. The mouse that is native to this continent is called a kangaroo mouse or a field mouse. And they kind of hop around like a kangaroo. And they boom, boom, boom. The first time I saw one of those, I was like, wow, what the heck is that? My dad told me that's a North American mouse. It's native to this continent. It's, the mouse that's in the house, like a rat and a mouse, those things, those are imported. Those aren't native to this land. Anyway. Raziel, transgender people are just people. Yes. Yeah, that's the simplest statement. They're just people trying to find their way in this world. We're all trying to find our way. You show me one people who have it nailed down flat on what's going on and what they're doing. Nobody. Anybody who does tell you that they know what's going on and have, all their ducks in a row, they're completely full of poo-poo. Kubla Khan, regarding trans wargamers, I think we should just play whatever we want, but I've had issues with store gaming where parents have taken their kids out for realizing I'm trans. That's ridiculous. That's the ignorance of the parents. And unfortunately, here's the really unfortunate part. And here's where the part that you should feel bad about. Not the fact of that act of them doing that, expressing that bias against you, that prejudice against you. That shouldn't bother you. You are right to be angered by something like that, but you should try and just let it slide. Let it go, right? Try. I know it's harder than it sounds. But really what should make you feel bad is that parent is going to pass those bullshit ideas onto those kids. Or already has. And that fear. Those kids are going to grow up in a fear. Right? That's the unfortunate part. Oh. Kubla Khan. That's a crappy feeling. I'm no risk to kids. No, of course not. Unless, of course, somebody was truly... But, gender, really, I know, it's such a stupid thing. It's such a stupid thing. I don't get it. Yeah, we can talk all day about this crap, but ultimately, I don't get it. I can see the problem. I can see solutions, but they're not easy solutions. They're not easy fixes. And it's not something, okay, if I was the sole emperor of humanity, then I could implement these changes and bring us all into a utopia. But I'm not, and I don't have 20 clone sons. Well, 18, because 2 of them disappear, apparently. And half of them go bad. So wait, maybe it's better we don't pursue that route. Ben Ellis, the problem is not the problem. The problem with the problem is the problem. That statement is very true. The problem is not the problem. The problem with the problem is the problem. Right. Raziel, the only problem I have with any people is people as players is poor behavior and bad hygiene. Yeah. Anyone who is a decent person and doesn't stink is okay with me. Sure. Yeah, definitely. I feel the same way. there are bad winners, there are bad losers, right? And, you know, the bad hygiene, well, yeah, I don't know what it is. Why that? Because it's a stigma. And it doesn't always occur. But wargamers, tabletop gamers, you know, yeah, there's that stigma that, you know, they stink, right? And I've gone into a few places and I was like, whoa, there's that familiar scent, that aroma. One time, when we were in Toronto for Comic-Con, and we were heading out into the street, and there was one of the exhibit halls. It was a huge Magic the Gathering tournament or something going on. I don't know. There was a whole bunch of organized play going on. It was one of these big exhibition rooms, and it was full of Magic the Gathering people. And I've never played Magic the Gathering myself, but I have played card games like Magic in the past. And yeah, we were coming down the escalators, and immediately we were all hit. And I had my family with me. And my wife, because I've been wargaming since, you know, I was a young lad. And she's gone to me with every place, and you know, where I used to hang out all the time too. And you know, she knows the universe, she knows the world. And of course, as soon as that you're hit by that aroma, she was like, "Whoa, what the?" She goes, "I know what that is." And as we came down the escalators and we saw the Magic players all playing, we were like, "There it is!" And yeah, holy moly, yeah. I don't know why it is. Why is hygiene such an issue with some people? I don't know why that is. Just shower. Just have a shower. You know, shower every day. Be in a habit. Shower every day. I don't know why. Anyway. I'm just pondering it. Jim White, have you played tabletop war game recently, Kris? I have been busy practicing painting and loving it to do so myself. No, actually, I haven't. I've actually been itching for a game. Every once in a while, I'll go over to Ash's place, and I'll play Ash's Guerrilla Miniature Gaming. I'll head over to his place, and I'll play some games and hang out and whatever. When Mini Wargaming moves into the bunker, I'm really looking forward to that, because then, you know, we'll be having open gaming again. And I'm really looking forward to that. It's gonna be fun. Why'd this move on me? Dr. Santos, there is nothing else to fear than fear itself, and spiders the size of dogs. Oof, yeah. Rezia, Kris, the dude abides. Yeah, hey man, the dude abides, man. Jim White, fear a lion, it can kill you. Sure, there's lots of things to fear, but it's how you react to that fear. I mean, that's only logical. If a grizzly bear is in close proximity to you, I say grizzly bear because that's an actual possibility, or even a black bear. That's an actual possibility where I live, because black bears are very dangerous. Black bears are actually more aggressive than grizzly bears. They're actually more dangerous. That, in fact, I'm pretty sure I was watching one particular program, and it was talking about, you know, the most dangerous animals around the world, and for North America, most of North America, I should say, the most dangerous animal is a black bear, because they go into human settlements, and you know what I mean, and you know, mess things up, and you know, sometimes they don't even have a fear of humans, and if you get in its way, it'll you know, get aggressive. But anyway, black bears, you know, close by. I mean, you don't sit there go start screaming and then run away, because then it might attack, right? It's how you react to that fear, right? You can either let fear take over, and you know, either you stay and do something about the animal, or you run away, right? I mean, you know, the fight or flight, right? Oftentimes I fight, but then oftentimes I try and push that back and try and be somewhat logical about what's occurring around me, and fight past the fear. If you can do that, I think you'll be a much more complete individual, if you can fight past the instinctual things that occur to you, you know, how you feel about things, how you react to things. If you can, sorry, mustache hairs flying around my face. If you can move past those things and not suppress your instincts, or you know, emotions or anything like that, but I think you guys gotta get where I'm going with it. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. Steve McDemon, I do smell something in my local wargaming places, but it's definitely not fear. Well, hopefully that's not it. Unless, of course, you know, you're playing in a tournament and you whip out that really powerful list and they go, then you might smell fear. Lord Krabby, Kris, soapbox moment. Stay neutral, but stay positive. You're absolutely right about that topic. IDC, about who you are and what sex you are. Go for personality. Oh, I don't care. Yeah, I don't care about who you are or what sex you are. Go for personality. Exactly, yeah. Because, I mean, like, there's some people who are not bad people, but you just generally don't get along with them. And that's fine. It doesn't mean they're a bad person. It doesn't mean you're a bad person. There's just some people that you just, you know, some people just don't get along. You know? But, I mean, you don't have to go to the point of, oh, he's a jerk and blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? Like, you know, just, I don't know. We don't jive and, you know, he'll run his circles, I'll run my circles, and some of our friends might interact with, you know, them and stuff like that, and that's fine. Yeah, I mean, let your friends be. I mean, you know, it's just a world. I mean, just let people be. I mean, if they're not causing you any harm, you know, then don't cause them harm. I mean, like, you know, it's pretty, you know, these are pretty simple things to contemplate, you know. Jim White, or in other words, show compassion for your fellow man and woman, boy and girl. Just for people, man. Just, you know, there really is no difference between, you know, how you should treat a man or a woman, you know. I mean, there's certain expressions, certain things you might, but, you know, otherwise just treat people with respect. Just respect people's boundaries, you know. Simple. John J. Kris, I believe Fortnite's new classification is Master Beta. You got me. Good one, John. You got me. You got me. You got me. My mouth was open. You got me. Ebb and Flow. Sup, everybody? Sup, Ebb and Flow? What time we at here? Holy crap, we're already 10 minutes after. No, wait. I've been jibber-jabbering on for this long? Good grief. Enforcer, you mean to tell me that my tactical horse breaking the Earth's atmosphere and crashing to the ground isn't realistic, Kris? That happens every day. Ben Ellis, no problems on YouTube. Okay, good. Empress Champ, nope. Anthony B, I love snow, but I live in the desert, so we hardly get snow. I was born in the mountains. Cool. Like right in the mountains? Like in the mountains or on the mountain? Because there's kind of a difference. It's kind of like like snow is on a mountain, whereas dwarves are in a mountain. Are you a dwarf? Were you born in the mines of Moria? Because that'd be cool. We'll have to hang out sometime. Jim White. Stream is good. Eastern Idaho. Cool. Yeah. Steve McDemon, no sound problems here. Okay. Excellent. 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 YouTube, output to YouTube is perfect. Okay, good. I asked that question like a long time ago, but I realized, but yeah. And Twitch is still telling me there's a problem, but the program I use to multi-stream, and it says that it's going to Twitch, so but I don't know. Yeah, we better get on with an email pretty soon here. I'm gonna have to jump through some of these comments here. I was considering I'm probably way behind on them anyway. But I'm just I'm hoping I'm catching something important here. Rezio, I like talking about painting and stuff. Let's do that. Still working on some works. I kind of hate them. What's everyone else working on? What is everybody else working on? Because I know some people, they turn this stuff on while, you know, while I'm jibber-jabbering and, yeah. Eldari Lamborghini. Moose in the hoose. There's a moose in the hoose. Jabba's left in that. Episode 231. Philosophies of the Monkey Lord kill the mouse, love the transgender. Why not? Why not? Why not? Yeah, I mean, like, love the transgender. Sure. I mean, just love people, man. Just love people. Just have some compassion, some empathy for people. That's it. That's all you need. Don't fear. You know what I mean? Like, if you don't understand it, then take the time and learn the issues and what they're talking about. And, like, man, it's like so freaking simple. Just educate yourselves, people. Like, God. Lord Krabby. Kris, open up Pandora box. Open up Pandora box. What? G squared, why are we talking about mice? I don't know. Why are we talking about mice? Mouse, Eldari Lamborghini. Mousegate. Mousegate? Jim White. Kris talking about mice and men since he could speak. Yeah, I have. Mice and Men was a good one. Wow, I'm really behind on these comments. Jewel Knight Jess, late to the party, but there's a few of us trans folks in the hobby. Thanks for being awesome. Yeah, well, just again, I realize that people are, like, it's not easy to be who you are being. It's not easy, and we're all trying to find our way. Everybody, even everybody. You're in your position. I'm in my position. I'm trying to find my way, for God's sakes, But if everybody exercises a little bit more empathy, a little bit more compassion, I mean, like, things really wouldn't be that bad, And unfortunately, for whatever reason, it's probably the rise of these mental, you know what I mean? Like, we have, like, there are so many mental issues out there these days that need to be identified, need to be treated. You know what I mean? Like, there's so many of these things, and we have so many now, and I think that's because of our environment and because of the chemicals we use and so many pollutants in the air, and you know what I mean. And that's why I think we're seeing these things. I think nature is basically saying, no, you crazy bastards, slow the hell down. You're doing it wrong. Be smart, because typically throughout the centuries and millennia, oftentimes these kind of things were dealt with, in a more primitive fashion. I'm not saying we go back to those kind of things, but, with mental issues and stuff like that, like, it's just, yeah. There needs to be more research on why, we have these things, why people react certain ways to things, like autism, we need more and more research done on it, Asperger's, and, because it seems like really when, because I've watched a few things on Asperger's and autism and stuff like that, and a lot of the things they talk about in that are symptoms, and like, for identifying it, a lot of those things can be applied to anybody, at least anybody that I've ever met and talked to at any length, and it's like, well, then, is everybody autistic? Like, that can't be the case, because then that's the new normal. Like, a lot of these things just don't make a lot of sense. And so more and more research and more knowledge has to be gained in these aspects. The cause. Why does this occur? When a child is in development and certain switches are turned on and off. Like, why are these things occurring? Is it just random mutations? Is it a part of nature? Is it a part of evolution? Are these things a part of evolution? That every, But how do we know, right? Because we're only looking at a sample size of only, the last, like, couple hundred years, as opposed to the hundreds of thousands of years that this form has been evolving. I don't know. Anyway. Jesper Larson. Hi, Kris. Can I ask you how you would tint the canopy of a model? How would I tint the inside of a model? Eldari Lamborghini. Inside of the canopy. Yeah, Eldari is correct. Oftentimes, I would recommend, if you're going to tint the canopy, I would tint the interior of the canopy so that you have that little layer of clear plastic to give you that real depth of glass kind of feeling, right? And then paint the outside frame of the canopy. Immediately, I'm thinking of like Eldar canopies, right? But I know, like, Storm Ravens, I think the entire glass bit has no frame. I think that goes in behind a plastic bit, right? Excuse me, something like that. Anyway, oftentimes I would recommend painting the interiors of those. It all depends on what you want to do, because if you want to tint the interior and paint the pilot and such and the cockpit and everything like that, I would tint, a particular color. Oftentimes what I will do for like my grav tanks and such, I just simply paint like an OSL effect in black and white. So black being the shadowy points, and then, have this white build up. So it goes from black to grays to white in the interior, kind of like the console shining light at the pilot. I will paint it that, and then I will tint the interior canopy. I use typically Tamiya Clear, cut with just a bit of alcohol, but I've been using Tamiya Thinner for that these days, and I find that it actually works a lot better than using isopropyl alcohol. It's just not as harsh on the thinning process. But anyway, and I'll use a synthetic brush, and I'll apply it, because the Tamiya acrylics are not quite like water-based acrylics. They're more like chemically based. They're almost like a lacquer. But anyway, and I'll paint that interior, and I'll put that on, and then when you look at it, it looks like it's a green light on the interior, right? Because it's just a simple process. If you have an airbrush, perfect. You can do the tinting and the effects of the pilot. If you are painting the interior of the canopy a particular color, and you don't want to show the cockpit, if you're going to paint the interior, oftentimes I like a metallic. I've done mine gold in the past, kind of like F-117s. They have like that gold canopy and everything, like the stealth bombers and stuff like that. They have like, they don't have regular glass. It's like, it looks like gold canopies, right? And I like that look. And so if you don't want to bother with the pilot, that's what I do. I'll just color it a metallic, and I'll just lay that straight onto the thing. In the past, I've done that before I realized that really there should be a base on it. And so like a thin layer of gloss varnish, and then that will help the metallics sit on the surface really, really well. Of course, you could always go with a lacquer-based acrylic, oftentimes because that has more grip to a sheer surface, whereas water-based acrylic, it always kind of binds back up and bubbles back up, right? Whereas lacquer-based, you can slick that onto a smooth surface, and it'll adhere and stay there, right? So I would often recommend for painting the metallics on the interior surface, use like a lacquer-based paint rather than water-based. But if you're going to stick with water-based, then I would advise laying a layer of gloss down and then laying your metallic down. Eldari Lamborghini had mentioned painting the interior of the cockpit, in Discord he had shown, and I think we had shown in the email last week, he had used Turbo Dork color shift paints. These lovely little colors here. I can't see which way I'm going here, but yeah, these lovely, lovely colors. Which one is this? Oh, this is Shell Shock. So this is a purple gold. You can kind of see. It's kind of hard to see as a shadow here. Hold on. Let's go over this way. Ah, screw it. It's a lovely little color. Anyway, that's what I'm saying. So like, painting the interior of the canopy would be the best way to go. If you're doing the outside, and I've seen tons of people just, prime their model with the canopy on and then, paint the canopy afterwards. And that's entirely up to you as to what you do. But if you want to remain with that glass look, yeah, I'd paint the interior. Either go with a clear or go with a metallic, or even go with a solid and, do whatever you want. But yeah, there's many different ways. I do have a few videos in Mini Wargaming's Vault on how I like to do canopies and such. And I think I'm pretty sure I show interiors and exteriors. One fun one was using chrome paint to do the interior and do the exterior. And that was a fun one. Using chrome to do the canopies. That gives you a fun look. Sorry, I'm going to skip through a whole bunch of comments. Holy moly. I'm way behind in my comments here. Yeah, that's a good one. Eldari pointing Jesper in, at that one. Blah, blah, blah. I'm just going to keep going here. Holy moly. Talking about Spider-Man. Dwarves. Oh, George. Yeah, George is a dwarf. George is a dwarf. You're a dwarf, George? Really? John J., episode 231. There's demons in my medium. Okay. Lord Krabby painting ultramarine hosers. Ben just painting and watching right now. Cool. Demon Wraith, I'm working on Death Guard Space Marines. Very cool. John J, I used to love people, but then I became a hotel manager. Yeah, I could see that. Saleswoman from hell, chemtrails. What? 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 Jobs left nut. Why do we need research in Asperger? Because, you know, maybe some burgers need more ass. You don't know. You know? I mean, what's the tastiest part about meat? Is oftentimes the marbling of the fat and the meat together. It gives you just wonderful flavor. Wonderful! Love it. I'm getting hungry just thinking about it myself. Ben Ellis, bet I can make Kris say holy crap with one word. Emails. Holy crap. Yeah. Holy. The time is 1, 2, 3. Excuse me. Sorry about that for everybody who had headphones on. That caught right up on me. Holy moly, I'm way behind. Raziel, Kris, didn't you do a video on mirrored canopies using Molotov and Spastic? Yes, I did. I'm pretty sure I did. So if everybody who's a Vault member out there, and you're curious about Molotov Chrome and Spastics Chrome, yeah, those are both lacquer-based products. They're not water-based acrylics. So you know there is a bit of different care involved with using those particular products, especially if you've never used those particular products before. So yeah, I like Molotov. It gives you probably the best chrome, but that bottle that I recommend everybody buy, that is like it's called the refill, because it refills the pens, right? Because this ink is, or this paint is an ink for pens doing metallic writing, right? But there's a refill you can buy, and that's the refill I recommend. And that's expensive. It's expensive. It's $50 for that bottle. That's not cheap. Versus the Spastics Chrome, which gives you a good chrome. It's not as a mirror as Molotov, but it's pretty close. It's close. But Molotov is a better chrome. But the Spastics is cheaper. It's only $12 for like, what is it? Like, I think a full fluid ounce or 2 ounce bottle. It's like $12 US, $10-12 US. So, I mean, you want chrome on your army? You know, you want to use, and it dries fast. Whereas Molotov, I found that because you have to lay it on fairly heavily to get really good chrome, especially if you're laying it on by hand, you have to let it sit for like 24 hours before you can touch it again. Don't even think about touching it before that, you know. Whereas Spastics, a few minutes, about 10 minutes, it's dry and it's fully cured, and you can paint on top of it and do whatever you want on top of it, you know. Not whatever you want, but I mean, you know, I like the Spastics. As far as our miniature painting needs are concerned, and for those of us who want a chrome paint, I would recommend the Spastics. The Molotov is going to give you a better finish, but it's not very fast, and there's a lot of things you got to take care of when you're doing it versus Spastics. Spastics you can do by brush or by airbrush. I would recommend using airbrush all the time, but yeah. Eldari Lamborghini. Yes, I did. I finished that hemlock and I took pictures. I'll take some pictures next week. Okay, cool. This week. Well, this week. This week? Next week? At some point in a week. All right, let's do an email. Because we can and we should. And holy moly, yeah. We need to. So, here's the point where I say usually headphones, because here it comes. And we're gonna kick it into 10th gear right now. Headphones. Email time. Email time. This one is from our good buddy Tyler Bortel. Hi, Kris. I recently finished up my... is that the same one? Yeah, okay. Yeah. Sorry. With the anointed throng of Vigilus, he'll be seeing the tabletop a great deal. Reminder, my Tyranids are done in lava. I am super happy with this guy, how this guy turned out, and would love some feedback. Many thanks. Oh, and here are the pics. And so here is his Abominus. Is that what it's called? Abominus? Very cool. Like the base. Like the paint job. Like the flesh. Nice and clean. pretty straightforward. I think. You used crackle medium on his carapace? Is that what I'm looking at? What am I looking at? What am I looking at? Yeah, I think you used crackle medium. Did you use Tyler, are you here today? You used crackle medium on his armor? Am I interpreting that correctly? That's very, very cool. It's a wonderful idea. Again, I like the paint job. Looks good. I don't have too much to say. I mean, like, everything looks good. I mean, you know, it really is all about, you know, how far do you want to go with the miniature, right? I really like the idea of the crackle medium on the carapace. It gives it a really different look, you know. I think in the future for something like this, I think maybe pushing that flesh into a deeper tone, especially for a big guy like this, pushing it into, like, you know, maybe even I'd hate to be, you know, because I mean, you're doing something different here, and I applaud that. I applaud doing something different, and I'm just wondering, like, you know what I mean? Because like judging by this pic, now I could be completely wrong, how this looks, because it could be the way it was photographed, but the flesh and the lava, the breaks in the lava on the armor are almost the same value, meaning that they're almost the same level of brightness, right? And so it initially gets kind of lost looking at those breaks in the carapace, right? Like there. Versus if the flesh had a bit more of a deeper tone, it was a bit darker, you know, then the cracks of lava on the flesh would have more prominence, you know. Also, too, I mean, if you're going to stay with a lighter flesh, I don't know if you did do this, because, again, it doesn't really show up on camera all that often when it's used, but using, like, fluorescent yellow and oranges to lay that initial base color down before you laid that crackle medium down. If that's what you used, if crackle medium. I'm assuming you used crackle medium. But anyway, using a fluorescence to give you that glow. Now, mind you, in photography, it wouldn't really show up all that well. But in person, kind of like color shifts, how color shifts look really awesome in person, but cameras don't capture it very well. And fluorescence really wouldn't be captured very well, of course, you know, with this as well. And so, but I mean, in person, the fluorescence would really make that glowing, craggy kind of look in the armor and the carapace. It would probably make it look really, really awesome. And so, yeah. But thank you, Tyler, for sending that in. Really, really awesome work. I'm sorry, I'm just trying to find the comments here. Did he... No, I don't think Tyler's here today, because I'm pretty sure his handle is Tyler Bortel. So, yeah. Enforcer, hey, Kris, did the mice steal your emails? No, mice didn't steal my emails. Wait, did they steal me? No. Ben Ellis, Gene Stealer handle and the glowing effect on the hammer looks cool. Yeah, the glowing effect on the hammer looks really good as well. Again, I was more drawn in towards the what's the word I'm looking for here? The cragginess of the carapace. But yeah, like in the coils on the hammer, yeah, that's a nice glowing in there. It's nice and subtle. And unfortunately, you know, like, yeah, I kind of overlooked it. I didn't really, you know, spend a lot of time looking at that, because I was more intrigued by the craggy lava of the you know, the thing, the abomination, or whatever the heck this thing's called. But yeah, I think in the future, yeah, I think I would go with deeper skin tones, just to help that lava effect glow. Just kind of like the hammer. You know how the hammer has that nice glowing, and it's kind of a darker metal you got going around it, and so really adds prominence to the glowing effect of it. I think the flesh also should have gotten that kind of treatment to really kind of really make that breaking lava stand out. You know, if that's the effect you're going for, unless I'm interpreting this all wrong. Whoops, didn't mean to do that. There we go. And so, yeah, definitely very nice work. Thank you for sending that in. Awesome stuff. Tyler Bortel, just in time. Yeah. So now, basically, Tyler, I'm going to ask this, and I'll give you a little bit of time here to answer. Was that a crackle medium you're using, or was that something like, basically, like say a Grillian Earth, you know, like the GW stuff, and then you just add a little bit of black to it and laid it on top? I definitely think in the future though, deepen that skin tone and use fluorescent colors for the underlying color for the lava, and you know what would be interesting? I mean, I don't know if anybody's going to try this. If I had the extra time and resources to do this right now, the Eldar, Forge World Eldar avatar, I think I would probably lay green stuff on the main portions of its body to smooth out its form, color it in fluorescence, and then lay that crackle medium on top to try and get that same look. I wonder if anybody was willing to try something like that, or did somebody already do it, and I'm just, you know, late to the game, as it were. I don't know. So, yeah. Let me know if you guys know of any examples of that, of somebody using the crackle medium to effect on the Eldar avatar, you know, to get that real craggy kind of look. Because I mean, like, it would work well on the body, not so much like the face or anything like that. I wouldn't do maybe the antlers on his helmet, maybe that, but I don't know. I kind of like the look of the smooth look on the helmet. I don't know if I'd add crackle medium to that. I think I might deliberately paint it to look that way, but I wouldn't apply it. Whereas on the body, especially if you took green stuff and smoothed out his form, and maybe even possibly bulked out some areas, you know what I mean? Like make his forearms stand out a little bit more, or, you know, things of that nature, right? But I'd leave like the gaps between muscles and stuff like that, then paint them entirely fluorescence on the body, and then put that crackle medium on top of the big portions, and to have all that cracking and stuff like that. I don't know. I think it would look pretty cool. Ghost Starman Deluxe, loving the Abominant Tyler. Tyler says, that's Martian Iron Earth. I don't recommend mixing in the black as it messes up the cracking. I put it on super thick, and then while it was wet, I dab on golden high flow carbon black. Ah, okay. Very, very interesting. Almost like applying a bit of a wet blend on top of the, on top of the crackle medium. Very interesting. Crackle medium is such a difficult beast to work with because it's so random, and it's very difficult to control how it cracks, because you're at the mercy of crackle medium when you use it. For anybody who's never used it before, and if you're really new to this hobby, I would wait a little bit. I mean, the GW stuff works just fine. You know, if you use it right out of the bottle and apply it, you know, as long as you lay it somewhat heavily, it crackles really, really well, and it's really easy to use. But if you go out and use other brands and stuff like that, like that are just mediums, you know what I mean? There's no color. It's a perfectly clear liquid. Some of those can be challenging to use. Like even I've had trouble using Vallejos, and Vallejos will dry really smooth. Like it'll reduce down and then it'll crackle, and it almost looks like glass, and it really gives a great, fantastic look. But oftentimes, I often have difficulty making sure that the crackle medium stays on the surface. It's just always a bit of a pain in that regards. So, yeah. Jim White, I don't know if you were going for a 40K look on the two main characters from Mice and Men by John Steinbeck, but if you were succeeding with a master's touch, bravo. No, I think that model comes that way. I think GW did that, didn't they? I don't think Tyler did that. I think that model comes that way. I don't know, or maybe Tyler did it. I don't know. If Tyler did it on purpose, then bravo. If it was GW sculpted that way, golf club. Dr. Santos, I have to depart for now, but you all have a good rest of the day. Yes, well, talk to you later, Doctor. Jim White, goodbye, Doctor. Goodbye. Tyler, darker skin is a great idea. I've experimented with fluorescence before, but I like the look of the normal colors better from a distance. Okay. Fluorescents tend to kind of look silly to me. Okay. Sure. I mean, you're a model, man. That was just a suggestion. You do you, bud. Tyler, I'll send in my Swarm Lord when it's done. but the cracks on the much larger surface look amazing. Oh yeah. Like the more surface you have for crackle medium, the better. Like I'm impressed that it looks really cool. Like on the back of the abominable snowman, his carapace on the back, like it looked really good. The crackling, and on the shoulder, it looked. I don't know. It didn't look quite as. It looked broken and everything like that, but it didn't look quite like you had on the carapace. The carapace looked really, really good, and so I imagine the brutal. And I imagine that model is somewhat it's pretty big too, right? So, yeah. Dark Commission Scale 75 has brought out an 8-paint set of fluorescents. Yeah, they brought that out a little while ago. I've been meaning to pick it up because I like Scale 75 colors. I have Vallejo's fluorescent colors, and they work great. I'd pick up Scale 75 just to see if they, because I mean Scale 75, the colors seem a little bit. What's the word I'm looking for here? They feel often more opaque, if that makes sense. And so, like I find with Vallejo's fluorescent colors, there's a lot of color transference through the medium. Like I find that you have to put a lot of layers down to get a good, smooth, even coverage. And so I'd like to see if Scale 75 suffers from the same thing, if that's a property of playing with fluorescent colors, or if that's just a property of Vallejo's particular colors. I don't know, And so I'm just curious because oftentimes I'm curious. I'm just curious. Same with Scale 75's inks. I've been meaning to pick that up. I just every time I go by and I see like one of my like eBay, and I have like my little wish list kind of thing of like what I'm watching, and I remember, oh yeah, the Scale 75's inks. I've been meaning to pick those up. I keep forgetting because it's not a high priority for me, on my shopping list. So yeah. John J at Kris, what news on the Painting Academy? John, didn't you ask me this during the Painting Auxilium show yesterday? Wasn't it you that asked me this? Wasn't it you? What news on it? The work continues. I'm probably, not nearing the end, but the finish line is in sight. Definitely the finish line is in sight. And Janine has been really fantastic with getting because she's been writing everything, and I've been just basically the face reading the scripts, and also filming the things. But they don't get completed as fast as say Quick Tips. It's not like Quick Tips, because if it was Quick Tips, then this series I don't think would really be worth its salt. Versus because I'm spending much more time on it, because basically we're not going to just put it out once. This is something we're going to advertise periodically, right? And because there's always an influx of new people, and that's who this product is geared towards. So, John J., I know you've been listening to me for a while. You might consider yourself more of an intermediate type painter or advanced. You might not gather much from this information. This series, this Painting Academy, is for brand new people. So, now mind you, I mean, you might be new to the hobby. I don't know where you are, like where you consider yourself in this hobby. But I mean, it doesn't really matter. I mean, because you can watch the series. I'm not saying don't watch the series. But the way it's designed, the way it's set up, the way what its focus is, there might be very little for you to gain from it, So, I just don't want people to have high expectations of it, because you all might be very experienced painters, and then you might watch this and go, well, yeah, I knew all this. Yeah, I know. Kris has harped on about this crap for ages. I know. And that's what you might experience while watching this. But again, unfortunately, you as an intermediate is not who this is for. This video series is not for you. To be blunt, it's not for you. It's for brand new people coming into this hobby. So, yeah. Raziel, the new Vallejo Mecha line has quite a few fluorescent colors too. Be interested in to see how they work. Well, not how they work, because they're paints. They work by putting your brush, applying it to a model surface. That goes for every paint line. So how they work, you know what I mean? Like, might not be the right way to express that. How they perform might be the better way, right? How they cover, you know, how they flow, you know, how much light fastness they have, you know, all these different qualities, how they sit on top of white, how they sit on top of black, you know what I mean? Like, these are the things. But I mean, that kind of experimenting, I mean, if you want to do it, feel free. And you know what? Post your results of what you do if you want to experiment with these paint lines. But oftentimes people don't want to buy paints just to, you know, experiment on them. You know what I mean? Like, they want to, you know, use them. They want to have an idea and they want to use that particular paints for them. Whereas oftentimes myself, I'll pick up things just to play with. You know what I mean? Because, you know, oftentimes people ask me many, many times, you know, well, Kris, do you have an experience using this? Do you have an experience using this? And, you know, I mean, I like to be the guy that's able to answer those kind of questions, right? So, you know, that's why I do it, is to help you guys, you know. Dark Commission, I have the Scale 75 inks, but not used them yet. See, that's Dark Commission. How could you buy that and not use it? I mean, like, well, I guess I'm guilty of that too, I suppose. But I mean, you know, it's just kind of funny to me because here I am, like, you know, I want to pick them up, but I haven't picked them up yet because, you know, and then here you already have them and you haven't used them. But see what I mean? Like, that's the kind of things like I'm talking about, like, as far as buying new products, right? If there's no need to buy all these different kind of colors, then you don't, right? Unless, of course, you want to play with them and try out different things. And, you know what I mean? You have an idea and you want to try different things, then by all means, pick them up. You know, buy those products. But, I mean, you know, like, having all of Citadel's colors realistically is not that necessary, having all the colors. Because if you play orcs, you're not going to use every color in the line. But there are certain colors you're probably going to use a lot of times, right? So, you know, it all depends, I guess. John J. No, it wasn't me. Okay. Enforcer. Well, monkeys, it's time for me to depart. The fields of corn wait for me later. The fields of corn? Like cornfields? The cornfields wait? Are you Enforcer, are you a farmer? I thought you were in New York. I didn't know if there was any farms around New York. Or in New York. Geofits. How time flies. It's already almost 2, is it? Holy cremoli. 16 minutes left of the show. I said that the other day, and I mean, like, I went well over 2 hours. I think last episode of Way the Brush 2 went over 2 hours. I gotta start sticking to my guns here, you know? Well, since we only got 15 minutes left of the show, I better finish my emails. Actually, I don't have that many emails. I don't know why. I'm constantly gotta remind you guys, send me emails. Send me emails. Even if you just want to show off what you're working on, send me emails. They don't have to be questions. Just be what you're working on. Send me emails. Send me an email, whatever, you know, whatever. Of course, also get, you know, wearing your shirts. Raziel, Kris, I just mean their characteristics. Geez, man, the monkey lord abides. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Jim White, when you are having problems painting, go back to the basics because it might help you to solve the problems. Sure. Yep. Go to the root, right? If you're having a problem, go to the root. What is the root? You know, what is the root problem here? What is the underlying problem? You know, is it truly, you know, is it my ability to move the brush? Or maybe I'm not comfortable. You know what I mean? Maybe it's the way I'm sitting. Maybe I'm not sitting properly. You know what I mean? Like, just think logically about, you know, breaking it down. Like, what is the problem? What is happening? Why can't I achieve a certain thing? Right? Because everybody out there can do this, can paint very, very well. You all have the capacity to paint like masters. It just takes a lot of time and a lot of practice, but you can do it. You can do it. You all can do it. You know, and then somebody might say, well, what if you had no hands? Well, you can always get the little clampers and, you know what I mean? And you can still work with it. I mean, if there's a will, there's a way. If you have the will to make the changes, to improve and master, all it takes is time and effort. It just takes your effort. And that's the hard part, is taking the time and the effort. But, you know, you all will get there if you put in the time and effort. I wholeheartedly believe that. That's not BS. I wholeheartedly believe that. You can all become masters at this. And, you know, the models you see in the magazine today and you go, wow, that looks fantastic. You go on a website and it's like, that's fantastic. I wish I could paint like that. Well, don't wish for it. Do it. Put in the time. Learn. Gain experience. Figure out how they did that. What techniques were involved. You know what I mean? And slowly, slowly master it. And then anybody can do it. Anybody. You all can do it. You all can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. And if you can do it, I can do it. Dark Commission. I have approximately 600 pounds, British pounds. Is that pounds? Yeah, it's pounds. Worth of paints, and most will be still unused in 5 years' time. Just bought large sets. Yeah, same here. I've done it many times. I got like 2 cases of Vallejo paints. You know what I mean? I got the full paint cases. I've got the model, and I've got the what is it? Model and what are the 2 different lines? The model and fantasy? No, is it fantasy? Game. That's it. Model and game. I've got both those sets. They're sitting, gathering dust. I turn them periodically just so that the pigment doesn't settle. Because I had some older Vallejos, and they sat for like a long time, and the pigment. Oh, and Citadels too. Older Citadels, not current range. Older Citadels, the pigment sat too long, and the medium, you know, comes out of that suspension as the pigments are pushing down on each other because of gravity, and the medium was still wet, but the pigment was almost completely solid. You know. So, yeah, I've had that with Vallejos. I had that with Citadel. Way back in the day, that's pretty much all I used was Vallejo and Citadels. Not way back in the day, but in the last 15 years. Yeah, but the last 15 years. It's mostly Citadel and Vallejos I've used. Way back in the day, I used to use testers, enamels. I used to use Ralpartha. I used to use Citadel. Yeah, I used to use pretty much any paint I could get my hands on. I didn't know. And I used to try and mix, you know, like enamels and water-based acrylics. Oh, yeah. And I was like, why isn't that working? Duh, because they're chemically different, dummy. You know? So, anyway. Dark Commission. So I have what I need when I need it. Yes, as the expression goes sometimes, right? It's better to have something and not need it than need it and not have it, right? If anybody's familiar with that expression. Of course, too, I mean, like, you can fall into some dangerous territory in that regards. You know what I mean? Because then that can kind of lead to a hoarding mentality. So, you know, just saying. Dark Commission, I'm not saying you're a hoarder, but if I had the budget to come travel around to meet wargamers and go to their places and see, you know, what their game rooms look like, yeah, it might look like an episode of Hoarders. Because I know from buddies that I have, and I've gone to their places, yeah, they look like Hoarders. It looks like an episode of Hoarders, but a little bit more organized. But it's still Hoarders, you know, so... I think there's a meme I seen where it was a modeler, you know, like the model kits and everything like that. And yeah, it was like the whole wall was all the kits all in there. And there was like stacks of them on the floor and stuff like that. It was like, you know, Jobs left nut. How many monkeys were shouting at the screen? Kris. The other line is game. I know we should do it like Blue's Clues or something, right? What is the paint line called? Yeah, you guessed it. Yeah. If anybody remembers Blue's Clues. I know Blue's Clues because I used to watch it with my kids, but anyway. Reziel. Vallejo is really my favorite. Their Model Air Gold kept drying out on me though. Interesting. Maybe an older bottle, you know. But anywho, yeah. Let's do another email because we can. And because we should. So headphones. Here it comes. Email time. Email time. This one is from our good buddy, Zachary, aka Eldari Lamborghini. Monkey King Lord Name Butcher. Here are some pictures for eyeballs of the monkeys of the Infinity model Andromeda. Andromeda that I painted up from Acid Drop Heroines collection. Cool. Are you still subscribed to Acid Drop? Very cool. Lots of fun painting the model. Got some Turbo Dork Blue Raspberry and Vallejo Fluorescent Magenta for this model, and the base is from Secret Weapon. CNC is always appreciated. I took these pictures with a real camera for once. They turned out much better than my phone. Very cool. I can definitely see the clarity in the pic. Hold on here. Let me switch to... Oh, wrong screen. Discord. That was the Discord, by the way. For everybody out there. Say, hey, I saw the Discord. Anyway. So here is Eldari Lamborghini's Andromeda model. I know. Very nice. Very nice. Great success. The fluorescence, I can see the fluorescence in the high points. In the future, I think you need just a bit more light, or with your camera, if you have timer where you can leave the shutter open a little bit longer, take in a bit more light just to get a bit more of a brighter picture. Either one I think would really help these pictures, but I love the clarity. I love that you got all these details in here. It looks fantastic. The painting looks nice and neat. Nice edge highlighting on portions. Very, very cool. I think the white on the excuse me, the white on the kitty cat or whatever it is, the mechanical kitty cat, I think could have gone a little bit brighter. But then again, it might be the photography. Like see on the cloak how you went to white. I kind of would like to have seen those little bit brighter edges on the corners of some of the areas of the armor on the kitty cat or whatever it is. I don't know. We'll keep calling it kitty cat. The base, I like the base. The character, yeah, that magenta, like I when you initially, because you were on Discord, you were posting pictures of this, and I was looking at it on the white and the gray, and I was like, you know, was the magenta gonna work? But damn, it does work. Like under this lighting, and you know, like the magenta does stand out quite a bit. Now I'm wondering, your lighting scheme for this shot, was it because that maybe when you had the f-stop a little bit higher or what have you, was it because the fluorescence was coming off too bright or too saturated maybe? Or was it just simply lighting? I don't know. Either one. Or was this automatic settings on your camera? I don't know. Oops. I switched cameras here to see my chat. Sorry. Oops. Wrong one. Where is the damn email? There it is. Sorry, I was going to my chat to see if Eldari had posted any replies, but I forgot that it's a screen capture. Oh, I love the goggles. Okay, I didn't realize. Yeah, that's where you use the Turbo Dork color. It was the color shift on the goggles, right? Very cool. Yeah, and with the arm, like with the cloth of her arms and legs, how it looks like almost like a Space Wolf gray almost kind of color, like a dark blue gray that plays really nicely with the goggles. Or is that like Incubi Darkness? Either way, it plays really nice with that blue of those goggles. Yeah, I think the kitty cat could use a bit more love. Just a bit. I'm not talking about bright as highlights as what you got on the female character. But like, see how like on her shin guards or her ankle guards, you see how you have just that little spot of brighter edging? I'd like to see that on the robot. Like that level. Her cloak her hooded cloak or whatever it is, I think that can stay like that level of brightness just to keep her a little bit separate from the robot. I think like probably some of the floor tiles, like especially where the glowing magenta, the hexagons are, I think that could use a very light, very minimal edging of white or even a lighter gray just to pick those edges out a bit more. Yeah. Really nice work on the cloak. That's really nice. Is that freehanded on the cloak, or is that... Oh, no, that's okay. It's a sculpted detail. I thought maybe you freehanded that for a sec. I was like, wow, damn, dude. Something about this dark spot on the base I am not sure about. Did you do it so that it kind of haloed her a bit? Is that why you did it? Because see on the upper left, like at the 10 o'clock position on the base, it's like really dark there. Or is there details there that looks like it's burnt or something? I don't know. I'm not sure what's happening there. Yeah. Very, very cool. I think it was a good call on that magenta on panels and stuff like that. In the leggings and her arms, that magenta really, really stands out for me. I think it looks really, really cool. The belly and the back cloak, it looks fine. And when I was initially looking at pictures of this, when you were posting them on Discord, I was like, I'm not 100% behind the magenta on the white, but it works. It works. I keep it. The color shift on the goggles, I think that's a really, really cool idea. On her robot, if you'd have done it for him around his eyes too, you know what I mean? Like really kind of linking the two together. That also might have worked as well. Might have been an interesting idea. Very, very nice work, Eldari. Really awesome. Looks really awesome. I'm going to assume she's done. Are you going to be doing anything with it? Are you going to be, entering it into any kind of competitions or anything like that? Is there anything like that going on in your area? I don't know. But definitely think that you could probably place with a kit like that. I really, really like it. I think it looks really awesome. Where am I in the comments? Java's left out. Did Kris go full Borat? Yes, very nice. Reziel, love it. I love the Infinity models. Yes. Eldari Lamborghini. I took them a little darker to see if the magenta would pop. Yeah, definitely. I think that was a good call. Getting a little bit more contrast on there. I think on the robot too. I think the robot could have used a spot or two of magenta. Let me go back to the pictures here for a second here. Let me go back to this. Sorry. What picture was it here? Oh yeah, okay. Well, you kind of did it on the eyes, but I think like let's go back here a second here. I think on like see the little triangle things under the ribs and by the hindquarters. There's a little triangular shapes, and it looks like on I don't know. You know what I mean? Like little spot areas like that, where like a little bit of magenta could have poked through, and kind of kept the same vibe between the two models. That way they feel more like a unit, I think something like that would have been cool too. Just kind of linking them together, because I mean, like you can have two of the same models be of a similar color palette, but one be a bit brighter to show the importance, you know what I mean, and stuff like that. Yeah, so, but anyway, good work, Zach. Awesome stuff. Thank you for the email, and yeah. Holy crap, we're 1 minute past 2. So here we're going to jump quickly into another email. Another email. This is from our good buddy, Derek. Hello, Kris. I've been working on my Blackstone Fortress figures. I've painted all but the Chaos Marines and Psyches. It took about 42 hours to paint them to a playable standard. The heroes got some extra attention, but the others were mostly dry brushed and washes used. I'm not showing everyone until I've touched up everything, but here are a few I liked the most so far. Do you have any tips for highlighting and applying white and tips to make the bases match the tiles of the game? Color or patterns? Thanks in advance. Fire Drake 18. So, Fire Drake, let's have a look. I like this model. I like the paint job too. it's, you know, it mirrors the box art. But I like this model. For whatever reason, I gotta switch things here. I like this model. I think for me, I'm glad that somebody in the design team just went for it and did something different. And I'm wondering if this is a preview of things to come from GW as far as ideas like this, as far as, you know, auxiliary type 40k characters and stuff like that. Like, I like this is the navigator. It's a human, but they have the third eye kind of thing going on, right? And so like they wear helmets, you know, so obviously they don't freak out humans because you know, humans are all about purge the mutant, right? And so I like the design of the helmet. And it almost feels functional almost, right? Because they're psychics, right? They're supposed to be able to see through the warp, and you know what I mean? Like, and you know, it feels like it's a psychic antenna. And anyway, the color scheme, I like it. The paint job on the cloth looks really good, especially I like, you know, you're highlighting on the legs and stuff like that. The shoes, I think, could have used a little bit of highlighting, but I know that you're not spending a whole lot of time on here, and it looks like it's mostly dry brush. Some areas look a little bit worn. I don't know if that's like for example, like the cloth hanging between the legs, it's got dark edges, and I see a little bit of purple. Oh, these aren't finished, right? Also, too, I'm seeing, it looks like there's some heavy speckling or something going on here. Be mindful of where you're spraying your models, just so you don't get all these little things going on. I like that. Like, took time to put the gold on the details and everything. For game pieces like this, don't be in a rush. I know you want to get it done. Maybe get some friends to help you out with some stuff, you know. But take your time. You know, I know you want to do, like, you know, have a good job. I mean, like, don't get me wrong. These are perfectly playable pieces. They look good to me, you know. Absolutely nothing wrong with them. The bases, as far as getting them to match the board, I mean, you could paint them in a similar color pattern as what you have on what you see on the board, right? I think going a light gray kind of matches with already what's going on there. Really nice work on this Elder. I like the edge highlighting and stuff like that. Again, you know, this model is a mostly bright model, and it looks like you primed it dark, and so that possibly, you know, you were probably trying to build up some heavy layers of like white and such on top of areas. So do be mindful of that. Again, I'm not sure what you're spraying with. I'm seeing like particles on the model. Whatever that is, I would stop doing it, especially if you want your pieces to look good. You know, be mindful. Take the time to. Ooh, I like the metallic purples on here. I like that. But yeah, as far as the bases are concerned, I mean, you could freehand, you know, elements like, you know, lines and stuff like that to make them. I really wouldn't get too caught up in trying to make the bases look identical to the board. I'm just trying to think. You could probably. I'm trying to think what the simplest solution would be, and the only thing I can think of as the simplest solution is. All right, you ready for this? Okay, here we go. This is the simplest solution. Okay, see how you have your models, how they have the plastic tabs? I would cut them free of the tabs. Now, judging by what I'm looking at here, you're relatively newer to this hobby, maybe a year or two into this hobby, right? If I'm guessing, I don't know. Or maybe you're a couple years, I don't know. But either way, that doesn't matter. The tab, I would free the model from the tab, put the tab in place, or fill the tab in, okay? If you want to make the bases match the models, paint the models separately. Be mindful. Mount them to something else. Use a pin or something to mount the model elsewhere. These ones could be a little bit of a challenge just because, you know, they're on spindly little legs. But otherwise, what I was going to suggest is basically take your printer and print out designs that match the board, right? Print them out and then glue them on and then seal them gloss first, seal it in, like glue them on, like you know, like you would, like just take a paper, smear white glue on the base, smack it down, squeegee out the excess glue, let it dry, then seal it, and then bang, you're done, and you have something that looks like the base. Now, if you want to go for something more 3D, then you can involve plastic card, things like that, and you can mimic the shapes and patterns that you see. But otherwise, yeah, if I really wanted to make the bases look like they're part of the board, yeah, I probably would get images and apply them to the top of the base and separate the models from the tabs, and then yeah, apply them on and glue them onto the base. Really nice work on this guy. I like he got little transitions in his hands. Really good stuff. I like it. Yeah, definitely though. Try not to rush your way through it. Spend a bit of time, you know, getting him to look right? So, yeah. Lord Krabby, Borat voice my wife. She played Warhammer. Sexy time. You'll never get this. Jim White. Hopefully they don't watch Way of the Brush. Hopefully they don't watch Way of the Brush. Hopefully they don't watch Way of the Brush. Who's they? The wife? I don't know who we're talking about. Jim, you're Jim White. You're throwing me off here, man. You're hoping who doesn't watch Way of the Brush? Or they will know what they're getting for Christmas. Oh. Yeah. Eldari Lamborghini. He doesn't watch, fortunately. No? Yeah, I'm lost as to what the hell we're talking about. Oh, the model is a Christmas gift for a friend. Okay, that's what Eldari's talking about. And then we got the, okay, blah, 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 blah. Gotcha. Okay. I hears you. So thank you, Fire Drake 18 for sending that in. Awesome work. Again, you know, it is a bit of a challenge to do. I mean, like the way you got the bases painted already, you know what I mean? Coloring the base in deeper grays. If you want to throw on textures, because the models have tabs, oftentimes that kind of disrupts eventually what you're doing, unless of course you're throwing something on top of it. You're throwing rocks or pebbles, or you're using the texture paints and stuff like that. There's nothing wrong with using the texture paint to do your bases for, you know, inside the Black Stone Fortress. I mean, you know, personally, I would probably, if I was doing it, I probably would use a thin plastic card, cut it to a shape similar to whatever the base is, or maybe I do it like a big hexagon pattern or something like that, and then I'd use like a scribing tool and scribe panel lines, or, you know, things of that nature. Maybe put a layer or two of another plastic card on, maybe different shapes, more scribe lines. You know what I mean? Kind of just sci-fi texture it up a bit, and then of course remove the model from that the tab that runs between the feet, the tab between the legs. That's not right. And I would fasten it, just the feet, to the base like that afterwards. And yeah, that's the easiest way I can think of. That's probably the way I would handle it. And yeah. Ooh. Sorry. I'm going. I just got an email from TurboDork. It's just, you know, they're advertising for the new colors. You know what? I'll show this off, because we've been talking about TurboDorks so much lately. But yeah, look at that. Light colors. I love the one on the far left. That, what is it? Saranso? Kuriko? Anyway. Kuriko? How do you say that last one? I have no idea. But yeah, it's a nice turquoise color. Pearly gates. A nice white metallic. All that glitters. A nice gold. Sparkle motion. Some heavy metallic, it looks like. Emerald Nightmare. Very dark green metal. And red rum. I'm excited for that one. Red rum. Red rum. Red rum. Anyway. Yeah, so more colors coming out. Very, very cool. I'm excited for them. I'm looking forward to them. Yeah. Any other comments here? Questions? Dark Commission. Episode 231. Remove the bit from between the legs. No, that's not right. Job was left nut. Sorry, gotta go. Need to talk about that crackle paint. I have an idea and need your help. Bye, monkeys. Yeah, well, send me an email. Reziel at Kris. Curacao. That's how you say it? Curacao? Okay. Curacao? What does it mean? Curacao. Because, I mean, like, he goes with these fun little names. I don't know what it means, though. But either way. I think we're going to end it there. Because I've got another email, but that one just came in today. So we'll get to that one next week. That's one from Ben we'll be doing. Right, Ben? Ben. And, yeah, we'll do that one next week. Start that one off. So send more emails. Because all I got is one email. It'll be a short show. Like I've said, if I don't have emails to do, I'm not doing a show. So, but I got one email, so I'll do a show. It's usually like an hour into the show before I get an email anyway, but but the show might only run an hour, so you don't know. If you like these 2-hour shows, you got to send me emails. Send emails. So, Jim White, it means heal a female pig. Whoa! Oh, Curacao. Anyway, so if you're brand new to this hobby, or you just want some help with a color scheme or particular painting technique or whatever it is, send your questions in to Kris@miniwargaming.com. It's in the description below. Of course, you can join me on waythebrush.com, central hub of all the silliness. Has links to all the social medias, including Discord, Instagrams, all that fun stuff. Join us on Discord. That's a lot of fun. We usually jump onto Discord after the show, kind of a little after party kind of thing. Not an after party, but we usually just sit around and talk for a little bit. I didn't jump in last week because I was busy, but I most likely will jump in this week because I do have some time today. And so, yeah, waythebrush.com. All the links. Of course, it has links for the t-shirt. If you want to get yourself a shirt, help support the cause. And, you want to look like a connoisseur of all that is good and holy in this universe, they're wearing a Way of the Brush t-shirt. It immediately looks like, your IQ looks like you jump up. It's like, how like, you put on a pair of glasses and they go, hey, it looks a lot smarter. You put on a Way of the Brush t-shirt, they're going to say, hey, that guy must be a great painter. So, if you want to fool everybody. Of course, everybody else out there who has purchased the shirt, send me a picture of yourself in your shirt and I will add it to the Monkey Shrine because I'm always looking to add stuff to the Monkey Shrine just for fun. And and of course waythebrush.com also has links for Patreon support. Big thank you to my patrons, as you guys, I really would not have been able to do all these upgrades and upkeeps of Way the Brush. Waythebrush.com. I wouldn't have done waythebrush.com if it wasn't for the patrons. So, of course, always a big thank you to them because, without them, basically, they keep things going. And if you want to consider supporting Way the Brush by Patreon, big thank you. And, of course, I do other videos as well. I only ever charge for Way the Brush. So, other videos I do for free and, of course, we also do the patron paint along where we get together every other weekend kind of thing, and we paint together and we work through a single project. And so, yeah, been a lot of fun so far. Last one was a lot of fun. This one we're currently working through. We just started, so even if you are considering patron today, jump in and help out the cause kind of thing. Of course, that's not the only way to help support. Liking, commenting, subscribing, thumbing up this video, sharing, and all that, all the other regular, social media video stuff, that all helps as well. Believe it or not, it helps. So liking, thumbing up, of course, subscribing, all that helps. It all helps. So, it doesn't have to be monetary. It could just be a bit of effort. It can be just a click of the button. My God, man, just a click of the button, and you help. So. And, of course, big thank you to Guymere Alfer, a.k.a. Carl, a.k.a. Beer and Blood Bowl, for taking the time out of his busy day to create the email jingles that we all know and love. And so, yeah, thank you to him. Always say a big thank you to him because, well, yeah, I totally forgot today. I didn't say it during the email segments today. I totally gapped. So that's why I say it at the beginning and the end of the show because, yeah, I always end up forgetting. Oh, man, that's rude, eh? Oh, well. What are you going to do? 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 You should ask yourself, what are you going to do, right? Reziel, I was a bartender, and that's the name of a blue liqueur. Curacao? Yeah, Curacao. What is Curacao? Like, come on, guys, tell me what is Curacao before I leave. Like, what's going on? So, yeah, big thank you to everybody. And of course, you know, I think we might have learned something today. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe we had a laugh. Now we actually got a little bit deep today again. I don't know. We always seem to get a little bit deep in the show. Hard-hitting questions. That's what it's all about, the hard-hitting questions, right? The questions really people want to know, they're asking, right? So big thank you to you guys for all your support. And, you know, thank you for watching today. Take care of your brushes. They'll take care of you. And I will see you guys next week. Well, technically I won't see you, but I will see you online. Because I'll see you in the chat, or I'll see you in the comments here. Right here. Talking away. Right? Maybe. I don't know. What are you still doing here? The stream's done. Go home. You know, this is unnecessary. This is almost psychotic. Why would you still be here? Why? Why on earth would you still be here? Of course, dark commission. It's the color of sea around the island of Curacao. Curacao. Curacao? Curacao? I don't know. Silliness. Okay, turn this off. Go. Why? I'm not sure. I'm not sure why you're still here. Go. Do something. Do something productive today. Maybe not productive. I don't know why you... Go. Turn this off. Nothing's going to happen. Nothing's going to happen. It's not like I'm going to... I don't know. Stick a paintbrush up my nose. Which side? Bristles or end? Let's go with bristles. Oh, it's itchy as hell. Oh, man. Okay, I'm done. We can't go any lower than that.